the voter
let's
suppression.
just get the debate out of the way, and then move on to some substance.
So tell me, Ari, who won?
Sam, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Who won?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious who won, which is for a rarity, Mitt Romney won, and I think Mitt Romney didn't win so much as Obama lost.
I would agree with that assessment as well.
I know we were conversing about this through different formats of communication, and we basically came to the conclusion that as football fans, which I know the president is as well, that people who follow football know that prevent defense never works. That if you have a lead and you suddenly become passive and you allow your opponent to make up ground, they're going to take that opportunity and they're going to move the ball downfield. And I think that's unfortunately what the president allowed Romney to do. I think the president could have been a lot more aggressive on Romney. He chose not to be, and when he tried to be more aggressive, he didn't really hit very succinctly. So I think it was a wake-up call for Obama's team that they need to alter their strategy. They need to be a lot more aggressive in debunking Romney. David Axelrod said something to the effect of, well, Obama didn't want to be a serial fact-checker. Well, I'm sorry. If Romney's going to lie left and right, then Obama has to be the fact-checker, because Jim Lehrer certainly wasn't going to step up and do it. And so I do think it's incumbent on the president to not only get his message across, but to aggressively fact-check Romney if that's what needs to happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I think, a lame attempt to spin it. And I appreciate you're using the football metaphor and this platform to sort of butch up your personal brand with the football analogy. But no, I mean, I think the Axelrod was, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what President Obama said after the debate. Like, I got to be a serial, I got to be factcheck.org up there. He seemed to be completely thrown off by the fact that Mitt Romney would lie. And, one would think at this point that there would be some awareness in that White House of these things, just on a tactical level. I mean, I have some problems with some of the substance, frankly, that President Obama did bring, but he clearly was going in with a prevent defense, as you call it, mentality. But then I think he didn't even execute that well. And I
think it was a poor debate on every single level, Sam. Yeah. I mean, I think it was a poor debate tactically. I think it was a poor debate strategically, and I think it was a poor debate substantively for the president. He got back into the mode of Obama that I think both of us like the least, which is the Simpson Bowles conciliatory common ground with Republicans Obama. That Obama did not work. That strategy did not work. It was repudiated when Republicans refused to work with the president. It was repudiated when the president didn't get anything done, and it was repudiated when he stumbled throughout all of 2011. People like the aggressive Obama a lot better. They like the Obama who's out there fighting for jobs. They like the Obama who's out there pledging to save, not destroy, the social safety net. They like the Obama who will release his tax returns, who doesn't say that 47% of Americans are dependent on the government, who didn't work for 20 years at Bain Capital. That's why they like Obama better than Romney. And we didn't see that Obama last night, and we didn't see that Mitt Romney last night either. And so that's what was so frustrating about the debate to me.
And he did a horrible job of sort of tying in, I mean, just on so many fronts. He never mentioned the Jobs Act that he proposed. He really basically just brought all the bad things you would want, sort of bragging about the austerity that they've already implemented, saying that he and Mitt Romney have the same position on Social Security. Now, I want to know what tweak means. You know what I mean? President Obama said, well, we will want to tweak it. I want to know what tweak means. This is, what's stunning to me, and Jim Lehrer, man, somebody wheel this guy off at this point. I mean,
well, Jim, I think Obama took the bait from Jim Lehrer, who was basically fronting for Pete Peterson, the billionaire who's been crusading about so-called entitlements for 3 decades now. And I think Obama decided to get all wonky and austerity light. What Obama should have said very simply is, I want to protect Social Security. Romney wants to destroy it. I want to protect Medicare. Romney wants to destroy it. I want to protect Medicaid. Romney wants to destroy it. And Romney has put someone on his ticket, Paul Ryan, who has given the GOP the intellectual case for privatizing Social Security and privatizing Medicare. This isn't some abstraction. This is actually what Paul Ryan wants to do, and we have no reason to believe that it's also not what Mitt Romney wants to do as well. And so I think Obama tried to make some of these points, not on Social Security, but on Medicare and Medicaid. But he should have been more aggressive on Social Security, and he should have been a lot clearer, I thought, and more straightforward when it comes to Medicare and Medicaid. And now that's going to either fall on Joe Biden in the vice presidential debate, or it's going to fall on the president to make the case a lot more clearly in the other 2 presidential debates.
Yeah. And I think, they're going to have to realize, like, oh, we're going to actually have to do, we're going to have to actually do some debate prep, and we got to come up. I found last night just completely befuddling. And I was annoyed because I tried to get my daughter to go to bed on time for this thing, and I had other things to do. And I feel
well, you're a man of many talents, Sam. You can't just be watching a debate. You need to be doing a lot of
like there was even nothing to tweet going on. From the very beginning.
But here's what I think is really inconsistent, Sam. Obama can't be running ads about Mitt Romney and the 47%. And Bain Capital, and Mitt Romney not releasing his tax returns, and then decide that he's not going to mention those issues in the debate simply because his campaign has it covered. That's not how it works. 50 to 60 million people are turning into these debates. It's a much better venue for making the argument than it is in just putting up a TV ad that someone may or may not watch. So this idea that Obama can just sort of give the dirty work out to his campaign and then remain above the fray, I think is really kind of mistaken read of American politics. And he should have expected Romney to lie left and right, because that's what Romney did in 20-plus presidential debates. He should have expected Romney to feign outrage, because that's what he did in every single presidential debate. And I was just surprised that the Obama we saw in last night's debate was largely the Obama we saw when he first started debating Hillary Clinton, who just kind of seemed disengaged from the process. I personally don't think it's going to matter that much. I think you look at what Nate Silver of the New York Times just wrote, which is that these debates rarely move the polls that much, and Romney, in any case, is too far behind for it to really matter. But I do think Obama's going to have to be better in the next 2 debates, or else this race could get a lot closer.
Yeah, I think, look, this is, sort of the gift from heaven from all the corporate media people, because it allows them to continue this sort of idea that this is going to be a race, et cetera, et cetera. My hope is that this diverts some money away from the Senate and House races. I hope, honestly, like, that was the one thing I walked away. I was like, good, because, we're hearing all these reports of all this money going away from the Senate and House, from Romney going to these Senate and House races. I hope Romney gets more money for this, because I don't think this dude is going to win.
Well, I don't think Romney is going to win either, and I think the panic that is going on the left right now is a very familiar panic. In some ways, we're in the default position of liberalism again, which is to believe that everything horrible that could happen will happen, and it's very reminiscent, I think, to years past. But
right, this is when everybody thought that John Kerry was going to lose.
Well, John Kerry obviously that didn't work out so well. But I do think there was a sort of panic about Obama in 2008 that was largely overstated, and I think the panic right now is largely overstated as well. My only fear is that there's a lot of money to go around. I don't know if it's an either-or choice, that the money's either going to go to Romney or it's going to go to the Senate and House races. My fear is that some of the people who weren't going to give to Romney now might decide to give to him based on this debate performance. But I can't imagine that a lot of Wall Street banks are going to shower money on Romney when basically Romney ran to the left of Obama on the banks, said he was against too big to fail, and that Dodd-Frank was a giveaway to the biggest banks. Suddenly Romney was like morphing into Elizabeth Warren when it came to banking regulations.
Right. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if what Romney said can be used by people in down ticket races. In other words, if Elizabeth Warren says to Scott Brown, I think they have one more debate. Mm-hmm. Are you where are you on this? If you've got some House races across the country, it will be interesting to put a wedge in between. I don't know. There's a lot of fodder here if the Democrats choose to use it. But based upon what we watched last night, who knows? I found the whole thing just sort of pathetic. I found it to be. I don't know, pretty pathetic. I mean, Obama just seemed tired to me. He just seemed
yeah. Well, I mean, tired. I think he might be tired. Honestly, I mean, he's been campaigning. He's president. He's got a lot of stuff to deal with in the foreign policy realm. He's worried about Turkey attacking Syria now, but I mean, this is an hour and a half where he just has to look awake. I mean, even if he'd rather be at dinner with Michelle, which I'm sure he wanted to be on his 20th anniversary, I mean, he just has to suck it up for basically 3 more hours here in the next 2 debates. And I think we're going to see a much more aggressive Obama. I mean, I would be very, very surprised if we see the same performance from Obama in the second and third debate, or the same performance from Biden in the vice president.
I would like to see debate. Joe Biden come up next week and say, hey, do you remember when the president said we're going to tweak Social Security? This is what he meant. I mean, I'm concerned because I'm not convinced. In my mind, I think President Obama, look, he's gone on record. He said multiple times in interviews, I'm upset. I don't get enough credit for willingness to cut Social Security and Medicare. And I think, to his credit, in terms of having some integrity, or maybe it's just a function of not wanting something to come back to haunt him, but he refuses to say we will not cut Social Security. And he's saying,
I think it's bad politics. It's bad politics, but I think substantively the left is going to have to hold him accountable on this issue. I mean, I think that the left has a lot more leverage with Obama when it comes to any sort of grand bargain than they would with the Romney and Ryan.
Well, yes, I agree with that as well.
But nonetheless, I do agree with you that Obama's making some disturbing statements that are also politically just make no sense. I mean, polls show that 80 to 90% of Americans don't want Medicare or Social Security tweaked. They want the program to remain as is. They like the programs. They don't see any reason for it. And the kind of policies that Mitt Romney has embraced, that Paul Ryan has introduced, are just incredibly unpopular. And Obama shouldn't miss any opportunity to tie those around Romney's neck.
Now, he did a good job in talking about how the voucher plan will actually hurt people, even though for some reason it's okay for single-payer health insurance if you're over the age of 55 or whatever arbitrary number that they choose to pick with Romney and Ryan. But somehow single-payer is not good if you're under 55. But the voucher system, we know, will destroy Medicare, even for those 55-year-olds, because it will create a death spiral as you have wealthier and healthier people getting out of that program, leaving the oldest and the sickest in Medicare because insurance gets more expensive the older you get, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Obama did reasonably well on Medicare and Medicaid. Right. I thought he could have been a little crisper, but I thought he did reasonably well. Generally speaking, I thought Obama did better in the second half of the debate than the first part of the debate. But his answers were just way too long. He needs to cut down the answer, every single answer, by at least a minute. He needs to be a lot sharper. He needs to paint Mitt Romney as a right-wing extremist. Which are the policies that Romney has embraced, both on foreign and domestic policy, throughout this presidential campaign. And, I mean, he missed an opportunity to do it last night. It doesn't mean he can't do it in the subsequent debates.